Okay, this is like my fourth time making this damn video. So, this is gonna be the time I got arrested and what I learned from it. I don't think I hurt anything. I was actually really scared, but hopefully somebody can learn from this video. And I really wanted to get this off my chest because every day I think about this and I get really sad and I still have like nightmares just thinking about the situation. But I only have so many minutes to film this, so I'm just gonna do long story short and a little bit of what happened and what happened in jail. So, I basically got in a fight because I got in a fight with my mom's husband. We don't get along. I had nowhere else to go. She lied to me and said that we had a place to live, but we ended up not having a place to live because she's a damn liar. So I had to end up moving with her and him because I had nowhere else to go because she got back together with him for the 15th time. So I had nowhere else to go. So me and my sister had to move in with him. We don't get along, and I already knew that I was gonna go to jail at least one time because me and him just don't get along. Our fights turn violent all the time. So I was with him from February to July. So what is that, like 6 months or whatever? I think just about. And the whole time, as usual, we just didn't get along. He was just nagging, picking, anything we did. Me and Brittany didn't go. Me and my sister didn't go anywhere. Like he had a car, but like he didn't want to take us places, and we had to take Uber and stuff, which is fine. I'm older now. I have to do things for myself, which I don't care. But he was just not a good person. He treats my mom like trash. Not a good person. So fast forward to the fight. We ended up getting in a big fight because he wanted me to clean after him, and I don't feel like I should clean after a grown-ass man. He needs to clean after himself because I clean after myself. He ends up putting his finger in my face. I kept telling him, stop putting your fingers in my face. He's like, no. So I grabbed his finger like this. He grabs my finger. I said, let go. He said no. So I took a pen and I hit him in the face with it really hard. He ends up going like this, grabs me, pins me down, punches me in the face. I can feel him punch me in the face, and I knew, like, oh God, I probably have a black eye. My coward ass mom is sitting here watching the whole time, not doing anything. I get up, I start throwing stuff, throwing chairs, I start hitting him, throwing stuff. I hit him in the face with stuff. My sister comes out, sees it, defends me. She starts throwing stuff at him, but she misses. And it's just this big thing. I started cursing, swearing, saying things I shouldn't have said. Just a big commotion. I get locked outside. I end up getting a cut. I don't even know how. I cut open my hand right here. It was worse than what it was. I had to get stitches. My hand, it's not as bad though. I had to get stitches and stuff. I was bleeding everywhere. There was blood everywhere. Blah, 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 blah. Long story short, the fight was really bad. I don't really get into that. They ended up calling the cops. Um, they ended up arresting me and him. And, um, the thing that was so weird about it was when I got arrested, I was not scared at all. Like, I think because I knew I was gonna get arrested, I didn't care. I wasn't scared. I'm in there, no cry. I wasn't crying or anything. I was just like, okay. I asked them a lot of questions. They answered me all my questions. They're like, you're just gonna stay there for the night or whatever. I'm like, okay, whatever. They put me in handcuffs. The thing about it was funny was they ended up taking the handcuffs off because the handcuffs wouldn't fit on my wrists. They kept sliding off. So like, we trust you, we're just gonna take it off. So I just go in there, which I think they could have got in trouble for that. I don't know. I get in the car, we drive to the station. I get to the station, you get processed, all that fun stuff or whatever. They check you and all that stuff. Of course, I felt violated because she's like all like this and all like, touching my privates and all that stuff. I get there, they move you to the fingerprint station. After that, they separate you. The men sit here, the girls sit here. It was crazy. Like, those people are crazy. They were prostitutes, drug heads, real criminals. Like, I was like, what the hell? Freaking crazy people. Like, people were screaming out. Cops were tackling people who weren't listening. Like, people were freaking crazy. I waited there for about, I got there around 7. I waited there from 7 to like midnight. So it was like 5 or 6 hours. No one was answering my phone calls when I was making my phone calls. I was really annoyed because the cops were kind of mean, which is understandable because it's the police officers, they deal with idiots every day. You know, I when I got there, my mom's husband was sitting in the next section. He's like 60 years old. Why the hell are you yelling and taunting me with 20-year-olds like you're 17 years old? You're a grown ass man. Why are you? He's just being immature, yelling stuff at me and everything. Remind you, when we got in a fight, this man is like 200 pounds. Even the cops said, they don't care what I've done. He shouldn't have tackled and beat up a 102-pound woman. Like, really? Which I don't care because it's my fault. I attacked him too. I have a big temper. But anyway, I waited there from like midnight. They call my name and they're like, you're gonna be in a holding cell. So they take me back in the holding cell. The holding cell was disgusting. Oh my freaking gosh. It smelled like fish. There was blood on the toilet. There was a TV there. It was freezing. And I was so scared to lay down or whatever. I was just there the whole time like this. And I was there for like 8 hours. I slept like this the whole time. Sometimes I couldn't even sleep. And then they give you breakfast at like 5 in the morning. Couldn't eat the breakfast. It was disgusting. The omen was like snotty. I like gagged. None of the girls ate the food. I was just so like disgusted. So then a couple hours later, they come get me and this white girl. And they're like, you guys are going upstairs. I said, upstairs? Like, yeah, no one bailed you out. I said, really? And they were like, yeah. So I go upstairs, and that's when it started hitting me, and I started getting really scared because I go upstairs, we change into our clothes, we had to strip down naked. They do all that stuff, tests and stuff, and check you naked and all that stuff. It started hitting me. They give you this big sack that has like sheets, white sheets, some towels, a toothbrush, a comb, a cup, and they assign you, like when you first get into jail, they assign you like a paper that you have to carry. You're responsible for it. It has like your jail number and all of your information and like what you did and all that stuff. You have to take it with you wherever you go. And so I had that. I go upstairs, and what was so weird and why I started getting scared was one room had like all the black girls in it, and the other room had like all the white girls with like one black girl in it. So I was like, okay, okay, there's my section. I'm gonna go with all the black girls, whatever. Me and this white girl that I had befriended before I had went upstairs, me and her were talking and stuff. She's the same age. She's not gonna get out anytime soon because she got charged with worse or whatever. But we befriended each other. They had called my last name and then her last name and was like, you guys stand over here. These two like ghetto loud girls were standing next to us, and they called their names and put them in this like weird controlled room with all the black girls. And I'm looking and I was like, I kind of walked towards there, and they're like, where are you going? I said, I'm going here. And they're like, no. And I'm just like, what do you mean no? And so they're like, you're going in here. And I'm like, me and the white girl looked at each other. I was like, here. And I was really scared because I was so ignorant. I was like, in my head, I was like, I'm going in here. I'm not going with all the black girls. What if these girls are racist? What if they try to beat me up? Like, I was scared. I'm like, these white girls, like, I'm going to be with them by myself? Like, oh my gosh, I was so scared. So I get in there, and me and her are, like, looking at each other. We couldn't talk. And I'm just like, what? She's like, why are you here? Oh my God. I get there. This room was like a movie. There were beds there. There was computers there. There were phones there. There were showers. There were sinks and a kitchen and just all this stuff. And it was clean and it was nice. And there was like an office. It was really nice in there. And I was really surprised. And they assign you to your beds and you get to make up your beds. And everyone's staring at me. I'm staring at them. I was like the only black girl in there. And I was like, what the hell? I was really scared. And I get there. As soon as I got there, I just put the blanket over my head and I started bawling my eyes out. I was so scared. I got up, made my phone calls or whatever, found out no one bailed me out. No one wanted to bail me out. I felt like no one cared. I didn't know what was happening. I started, they had lunch and I didn't even eat because the food was so nasty. It was like congealed, and the water was like, they give you like the sugar water. It was so nasty. Like, I just gave my food to everybody else. And there's a time, like isolation period, where like you have to sit and just lay for like about 3 hours, and then after that the rest of the time is free time. You can do whatever you want. Of course it's still controlled, but you get to make your calls, take your showers, eat your snacks when you want to. the computers weren't working at the time, so you couldn't go on the computers. You can read, do whatever you wanted. I was just shocked that I didn't know jail was like that or whatever. You know, they have people come in and talk to you, counselors, all that stuff, and I was just, it was nice. It was okay, I guess. The next day I was able to get out. I got all my stuff. When I got arrested, I had pajama pants on and a shirt. My shirt was ripped from here to here. You can see my bra. I had to hold it like this. I get out of jail. No phone. I had no shoes. I looked like a hobo slash prostitute. The jail was right by Fremont Street. lived in Vegas. It was a Clark County jail, and it's right by Fremont Street. Hobos and prostitutes walk there. I'm walking there to the jail station by myself. No, but with this girl actually. Scared to death. People looking at me, treating us like criminals. That's when it hit me like, Brianna, you do not need to be here. It started making me feel like, okay, you need to control your temper and stop, because you might come back here. And this is what this cop told me too. He said, I'm so happy you're here because I know you learned your lesson. You can't be fighting grown men, and you can't. I have a really bad temper when I'm mad. I just go off. And me having that experience made me realize that I can't do that. I'm going to be back. Luckily, they dropped all the charges. I have nothing on my record. They dropped everything because it was my first offense. And yeah, I was scared to death. This lady treated me like a criminal. I ended up calling. I was like, can I call my dad? It's like she didn't believe. She was like, your dad? Like, I was my pimp or something. I was like, yeah. She didn't let me touch her phone. She dialed a number. She put the phone on speakerphone, held it like this, had me have my conversation in front of everybody. My dad made me wait there for like 3 hours. I'm sitting there praying to God, like, God, please don't let people hurt me. Don't let anyone touch me. There's hobos walking around. There's suspicious men walking around. Cops were walking around looking at me and these girls like we were criminals and stuff. I get in the car with my dad, and that was hell. He was telling me I'm going to be a whore in the street. I'm a piece of trash. I'm going to be nothing. I have nothing. I don't know what the hell I'm going to do. But I tell you one thing, my life is a lot better than it was before. And I learned my lesson. And my temper, I control my temper now. When I get upset, I breathe. I'm in counseling now. I applied for free counseling. I'm doing a lot better. I still don't know what I'm going to do. Still don't have a lot of money. Don't know where I'm going to go. But I'm doing so much better. In that experience, I got lucky because the cop was like, that jail is one of the safest jails in America. I don't know if that's true, but he said it was. I felt blessed because no one hurt me, no one touched me. When you actually get inside the jail and upstairs, that's when the cops are nice, and that's when they do talk to you. That's when I got a newfound respect for police officers because they treated me really nicely. But jail is no place for anybody, and I definitely learned my lesson. This phone's about to cut off, so I'm going to cut this short. I hope you guys liked this video. Like, comment, and subscribe.